It's cookie time. 4 sticks of butter. We're clogging arteries. I am in the mood to bake some cookies, so that's what we're going to do. It needs to be room temp butter. So we've got room temp butter. Hey y'all, I am sitting outside today just enjoying some humid Mississippi weather, but I wanted to say this is the first time I had put that much butter into it. I've done some research and showed that they allow it to be fluffier. So that's what I wanted to happen, and I will tell you guys, it definitely did just that. The end result of these cookies was phenomenal. I like to have cookies on hand for hubby in the freezer. He deserves it. The family loves them. It's just something I'm pretty good at baking. For the first time, I made brown sugar. So we're going to take 1 1/4 cup times 2 and add it. I am so excited. I hope they turn out really good because the brown sugar is good. We need one more cup. Hold on. 1 more cup. That one was a little light. There we go. You need 1/2 cup of sugar, so I'm going to take 1 full cup. And we're going to mix this first with that lightly fluffed out butter. I am the happiest when I'm baking. So I'm happy. A little bit about me is I am a self-taught baker, self-taught cooker. I just didn't grow up with that, and that's okay. That's totally fine. I did a homemaking class in high school, and I think it was probably like a semester, maybe 2 semesters, but I think just 1. And there was so much joy behind the cooking that I was doing. And I got with my husband, who's from a family that does a lot of home baking, and they know how to cook. And I was kind of intimidated at first. So I wanted to learn how to cook for him kind of the way he grew up. It was just something that made me happy, was to feed my husband good food. And then it became a thing for my kids. And here in probably the last year, I want to say since like September of last year, I got this huge want to grow a garden, to bake more, to really dive in to the homestead side of things. And that's where we're at. It has been such a blessing. So part of that was cookies was the first thing I learned how to make. And here I am just mixing together really good that butter and brown sugar and sugar. You want it to be pretty much a one paste type deal before you start adding in those dry ingredients. The butter can be clumpy, but just try your best to make it super combined with each other. I promise they'll make the cookies way better. Yeah, you burp. So that one I got. Another big tip of mine is to add your eggs in one at a time. You don't want to completely overbeat them. You kind of just want to see the egg is broken up over the batter, but one at a time for sure. Another thing that I've tried out that did not work really well for me was whisking the eggs together first and then lightly adding them together to the other batter. That did not work out for me either. So this is literally the best thing I could have done. So to get the fluffiest to get the fluffiest cookies depends on what you do with the eggs, how many eggs, and the butter. So not cold butter, not melted butter, room temp butter works best. I will tell you a trick. If you are realizing that your butter is still too cold and it's time to cook, you can lay them on a skillet and put it on like a low 3 to 4 and just flip sides of the butter, and then it'll typically balance out the cold inside and a little bit of the melted outside. That's totally fine. Make sure. So that's all. Do 2 tablespoons of vanilla and mix that together really, really well. You'll also see I go back and forth from the mixer and the spatula. That's because the spatula can break down all the sides that your metal mixer can't get to on a stainless bowl or any kind of bowl. We need 6 cups of flour. So I went ahead and added that. The recipe calls for 3, but I'm doubling, remember. So we went ahead and added 6. Featuring my lard I just did for the first time ever. Here is our baking soda. I'm going to double it. I got baking soda. 1. But this is real baking soda. 2. 1 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. So we're going to double that up. I'm going to mix this up. I'm waiting to add cornstarch until after I mix it. 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. I'm going to knock these down. I don't want it to get everywhere. There we go. 1 and 2. I love mixing all of my dry ingredients before I add to my wet. It's just how I get the fluffiest cookies, and it's just something I do. Another big trick is to slowly add. Especially because it's going to be super thick. And we just keep adding. If I had to pick, I'd say chocolate chip cookie is probably my best. I've really gotten into making the peanut butter cookies, but I have not mastered that yet. That is not something I would give a recipe for anytime soon, that's for sure. Another thing that makes me love baking and cooking is the recipes that I make and combine and find. I don't make all the recipes, that's for sure. But it's something I pass on to my kids. And I homeschool my oldest. So it's something that I get to teach her, that she gets to learn these life skills with mom at home and learn stuff that's going to help her later on in life. And I'm not saying baking cookies is what's going to make her successful in life, but it does help knowing how to bake and how to provide for yourself and a family if she ever decides that she wants one. We need to turn the oven. I am a clean up as I go girly, so when I at least try to be. It makes for less of a hassle. But we're going to add 6 cups. We're going to add 4 cups of chocolate chips. Lots and lots and lots of it, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, I think, is plenty. The hubby loves chocolate chips, so that's why we're making some. And I'm just gonna fold these in the best that I can. Holy cow. Oh. And you're not baking if you're not making a mess, right? Let's get something easier for this job. Okay. There we go. There we go. This is easier. Really incorporate all of those chocolate chips in there. All right.